Are you looking for the best backpacking tent? In this video we will look at some of the 4 best backpacking tent on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL3. The Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL3 offers more interior floor space and headroom per pound than any tent in the test, yet weighs less than many 2-person options and packs down as small as the Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL2. That makes it pretty compelling, even if you only hike with 2 other people on occasion. The 18 square feet vestibules and 8 internal pockets, including a massive gear hammock hanging from the ceiling, should help when sorting gear. A strutted vent in the ceiling cuts down on condensation inside the fly and helps the tent stay cool on sunny days. 4 guy lines secure structure in heavy winds, and the waterproof fly kept us dry during a 3-day rainstorm. Color coding, a multifunction double door system, and labeled features make the Copper Spur easy to set up and use. You can also turn the rainfly into an awning with trekking poles or a sunshade with a footprint, sold separately. The HVUL3 has a tapered footprint, making it hard to stash extra gear by your feet. Luckily, you can buy a separate gear loft that attaches to 3 loops in the ceiling if you need more storage. A bigger issue is that the tent's extremely lightweight fabric and poles aren't as sturdy as we'd like. The same poles broke with 2 other tents during testing. Luckily, they're pretty easy to repair. The company recommends buying a footprint to protect your tent. We agree, though we haven't had problems with durability during testing. The rainfly can also sag over time and when wet. When it does, a pool of water can form on the roof where the poles overlap unless you keep it tightened. All this aside, this is a fantastic option if you want the flexibility to change the number of folks in your backpacking party. Number 2. NEMO Aurora 2. The NEMO Aurora 2 is the most spacious and airy-feeling tent we've tested, with a peak height of 44 inches, over 30 square feet of floor space, and enough headroom to sit up in all but 5 of them. It's sturdy and is backed by NEMO's lifetime warranty. The tent comes with a footprint to reduce wear and tear, and you can order an additional paw print protector that snaps into the corners if you often travel with dogs. 2 vents on either end of the tent opened wide with struts to shed heat and humid air, and the tent's 2 massive doors can fully open for an epic cross breeze. You can also pitch the fly and the footprint alone as a sunshade. 4 pockets give you space to organize your stuff, and there is plenty of room for the rest inside the tent or in the 18.4 square foot vestibules. Though the Aurora held its own in our 3-day rain test, some water did creep in and bead up on the floor by the head of the tent. The fly has loops to attach guy lines to stake it out at the tent's head and foot, but it doesn't come with the lines attached. Once we added them, the tent stayed dry. At 5.5 pounds. This tent is heavy and bulky to pack. 2 people can certainly splint the weight and haul it into the back country, but they may not want to. Still, it serves as a sturdy base camp if you aren't venturing too far and could be a great crossover for car campers who occasionally hit the trail. The North Face Stormbreak 2 is a similarly roomy, excellently priced, and weather-resistant tent that weighs 6.27 pounds. Though we do have some durability concerns due to fraying fabric and bunching seams. Number 3. Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL2. The Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL2 is the 2-person version of the UL3 discussed above. They share many features we love, including 18 square feet of vestibule space, but the 2-person version weighs almost a pound less. 4 smartly placed pockets, including a large hammock slung from the ceiling, and 9 easy-to-use loops give you plenty of storage options. Color-coded straps and integrated attachment points for the tent and rainfly make for a smooth setup process. The rainfly is lightweight, has 1 strut vent in the ceiling, and breathes well. We appreciate that you can configure its doors in numerous ways, including using 1 door as an awning to keep harsh sunlight or drizzle at bay. The rain flies on both Copper Spur tents are long, which blocks rain but also ventilation. It also makes it hard to keep them stretched tightly. If you let the fly sag, which it tends to do in the rain, A pool of water can form on the roof where the poles cross. It could soak through if you don't shake it off, though the tent stayed dry during our test. The inner tent's white mesh ceiling is not as ideal as dark mesh for stargazing, and all of the fabric is extremely lightweight. We would follow the company's recommendation to buy the optional footprint to increase its durability. Though this tent is lighter than the copper Spur HVUL3, it doesn't pack any smaller. If you want to save weight but aren't willing to scrimp on comfort, this is a compelling option. The UL2 has a little less floor space and headroom than the Sling Fin Portal 2 but offers better space to weight ratios. Number 4. Big Agnes Tiger Wall UL2 Solution Die. The Big Agnes Tiger Wall UL2 Solution Die is a compelling option if you like the idea of going ultralight but can't quite bring yourself to ditch the comfort and ease of a traditional tent. Its packability helps it compete among semi-freestanding models, and we find that it's the most comfortable of the sub-3 pound tents that we've tested. Its crossbar design provides exceptional headroom. The two large side doors, reasonable footprint, and two vestibules make it a livable, if tight, fit for two. The fabric's solution die also makes for a more environmentally friendly manufacturing process. When we left the Tiger Wall out in the rain for 3 days in Maine, the underside of the fly was constantly wet. The tent floor and body remained dry, but we had to avoid brushing against the condensation on the fly. This wasn't an issue when camping in Moab, Utah, so we recommend using this tent in drier climates. The orientation of the zippers on the tent body and fly also makes it harder to enter and exit, especially in the rain. This is a pricey and very thin option, and it feels fragile. That said, if you treat this tent nicely, it should offer you lightweight, comfortable camping. We had fewer condensation issues with the mountain hardware Nimbus UL2, but it is less comfortable and harder to enter and exit with only one door.